Minnesota Supreme Court, which could prolong the DFL boycott. Chief Political Reporter Tom Hauser live at the Capitol now with the latest developments. Tom?
Yeah, Kevin, late this afternoon, House Republicans did file this petition with the Minnesota Supreme Court. They claim DFL Secretary of State Steve Simon is exceeding his authority by not allowing Republicans to make any motions on the House floor.
There being no quorum under the Constitution of the state of Minnesota, the House is adjourned until 3:30 p.m. Monday, February 3rd, 2025.
Groundhog Day is Sunday for most of us, but it's Groundhog Day every day in the Minnesota House.
A quorum is not present. The House is adjourned. The House will adjourn. The House is adjourned.
The DFL boycott of the Minnesota House that started January 14th shows no signs of ending, with Democrats still not stepping foot inside the Capitol. And now Republicans up the ante, filing a petition with the Minnesota Supreme Court claiming Secretary of State Steve Simon is exceeding his authority by not allowing Republicans to make any motions.
I had sent an email to Secretary of State Simon's office just saying that we would like to be at least recognized as being part of the body of the House of Representatives. It was not a surprise. It was nothing that we were going to be unruly about. It was very professional in wanting to be recognized. The Secretary of State chose not to recognize Leader Niska.
We have had motions at the desk every single day that are specifically within the power of a lesser number than a quorum to do under the Minnesota Constitution. He has overstepped his authority as the presiding officer, and so today we initiated legal action against Secretary Simon in the Minnesota Supreme Court, asking the Minnesota Supreme Court to tell him that he is exceeding his authority as an executive branch official, as a ceremonial presiding officer.
In a statement from House DFL leader Melissa Hortman, she says, quote, Democrats are asking Republicans for something very simple, to honor the will of the voters. And according to Representative Hortman, the will of the voters is a 67-67 tie and a power sharing agreement. She also criticized Republicans who she says have stopped negotiating on those points. The House is not in session tomorrow. They are next back on Monday afternoon. In the meantime, no new talks are scheduled, and it's unclear when the Supreme Court will hear this petition from House Republicans.
Okay. So from January 14th, 2025 to now, here we are. Their next session will be Monday, February 3rd, and there still won't be anything going on. The Democrats in Minnesota have decided that they want to boycott, right? Boycott the House of Representatives. It's not funny. This is I don't really know. Like at this stage, I'm sure they have an interest in doing whatever they can to try to save face. Not only this particular organization here locally in Minnesota, but just in general. The government is taking so many hits. Even the whole, Trump coming out blaming DEI for the incident occurring over DC. It's like, come on, bro. I mean, you really could have. That just wasn't a good thing to say. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't. I don't care how you spin it. But at the same time, there are issues here in America that have nothing really to do with DEI. It just seems to me more like people in general, the work culture in general, or the culture in general, doesn't seem to be so pro hard work. Uh, you know, take pride in what you do, even if you're just a janitor, right? Whether you're a janitor or a CEO, there was a point in time where everyone took pride in their position, and it just doesn't seem to be the case these days. And a lot of that is really due to the quote unquote capitalism, right? Like they're not paid a lot, even if they are paid. Usually, if you're paid, people tend to do a little bit better. But when you're unskilled labor, you're not really treated like you're a part of anything. And then letting people go before retirement benefits and things like that. this is what the companies do. So now we have a culture of apathy, right? Essentially, that's what it is. It's a culture of apathy. Screw you if it's not harming or benefiting me. You can go to hell. It really doesn't matter. I am not like that. I disagree with that whole notion entirely. I'd be naive to say that that's not prevalent in society right now. It just is. Servers um, aren't the best. Uh, just services in general are going down as far as quality. But here we have even, we're talking governance here. This is a governing body talking about boycotting. Now, evidently, they're supposed to have some kind of a power share agreement between Democrats and Republicans in the House, which is the lesser of the two houses, anyways, significantly lesser as far as power is concerned. But nonetheless, they've decided for a couple of weeks now that they're just not even going to come in and do their job that they're being paid for. How that happens, I don't know. Boycott? No. You need to sit down like an adult who was put there to behave like a functional adult to get things done. Boycotting is not how things get done, right? You need to sit down, you need to talk it out, you need to work it out. This is adulthood 101. So apparently they missed that, right? And there's always this Democrat, Republican, we're enemies to each other, poor me, blah, blah, blah. It's tiring at this stage. I don't know. I don't know about you folks, but I see it as disgraceful. I see it as government in general taking another hit. And I mean, it's honestly, it's just tired. It's all tired. It's all old. It's all outdated. I think it's plain to see that we need a new approach, right? And I think that approach is going to have to emanate from the bottom up. I know we all like to have a top-down approach where we want people to come and save us, but it's just not going to happen. It just isn't. So anyhow, that's what's going on locally in St. Paul with Democrats and Republicans. Not internationally. Nationally, we got a whole lot of mess going on as well. But whatever. It is what it is.